welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews, and today we're going to be doing my favourite top 10 zombie movies. And this is going to exclude the films like 28 Days Later, any virus movies like Resident Evil, like Rabid, or even one of my favourites, which is Pontypool. We're going to take those films out of the equation. Even TV series like The Walking Dead.
We're just going to stick with
pure, faithful zombie
movies. People rising from the dead and eating other people.
Finally, we got Nazi zombies.
Oh yeah.
After the Call of Duty experience of killing Nazi zombies, it was, only a few years later we got Dead Snow. And there's nothing I can imagine being more satisfying than shooting Nazi zombies.
Cursed undead Nazi zombies. Is it machine guns on the snowmobile?
That's right, yeah, a badass scene.
The film is brilliant. Just a bunch of kids go into a cabin,
Yep.
Atypical.
And they raise the dead.
I think they found the gold that was being held by the Nazis, and anybody who takes the gold, the Nazis come and eat.
Yeah. I think the film was actually ridiculous, and I don't actually recommend it. But it was funny enough to make parts of it memorable. I can always be found. I believe a film you've not
I've not actually seen it yet.
Dead Girl is a film that not many people actually know about. It's an independent film that didn't get a massive distribution. Basic story is a couple of kids they're exploring this abandoned mental asylum. And they find this woman who cannot die, and she's tied up to this bed.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, I told you.
And these kids, they're virgins, and they want to explore their sexual urges, and so they experiment with this zombie. So it's kind of a necrophilia film. It's kind of revolting, actually. It's really a disturbing film to watch, and it gets... You wonder how that concept can be brought out over an entire course of a film, but it can.
What you think? About what? About hot pussy. Straight out of porn.
It slowly explores this these mental attributes of these people to the point where it does actually become a zombie movie towards the end. It's not a film I watch regularly. It's a film I've actually only watched once, but it stuck with me. And I was like, if you've seen zombie films, maybe,
it goes on your top 10.
It goes there, yeah.
A very fun film.
It is a very fun film, and when I watched it in the cinema, I came out big grin, like, wow, that was zombies on the big screen, it was a really fun film to watch, very funny. But since reviewing the film and watching it again, I don't like it as much as I used to. I love the opening, the slow motion opening. The Metallica opening is so amazing. And the rules of surviving the zombies. Very good. The cameo by Bill Murray. Awesome.
Walked on. Nobody there. God damn it, Bill fucking Murray!
Some of the scenes really good, but where the fuck were the zombies? Really? The zombies are there at the beginning, And then there's like a 45-minute chunk of the film. There's no zombies.
Well, I suppose it's to build the tension, you know, the storyline between Texas and Idaho or whatever the name, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I mean they're great scenes, but it just didn't feel like an apocalypse zombie movie anymore. It felt like a road trip film.
Man, we're gonna have to pull over soon. I'm feeling cooped up.
It's in the middle and then brings itself back up in the fairground.
The fairground sequence is amazing, but again, I didn't feel the tension watching it because none of the main characters die. They are all god mode.
They all kick ass.
And they all kick ass, and it in my zombie movies, I like characters to die horrifically because that adds tension to the other survivors, and it makes you go, wow, you know, you're afraid for them.
Yeah, but you can't have it all the time. I mean, we knew it was going to be a fun film, and you know, well, like we said, we got carnival, we got clowns on the.
Of course. It had to be a clown. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a zombie comedy.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's still a really good film. It's just not. It's just moved down my favourites list over the years. Planet Terror. Now that is one of my absolute favourite zombie movies.
Yeah.
Not just because it's a zombie movie, but just because it's also a Grindhouse movie. It came out in America as a double bill with Tarantino's Death Proof.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of Tarantino's weakest films, but it's got some good bits. But anyway, Planet Terror. Oh my fucking god! What was going on in that film? There were so many cringy moments. And so many bizarre moments and the cameos. You had Bruce Willis, Michael Bean,
Jeff Fahey, Rose McGowan, hot as hell.
When she loses her leg,
spoilers.
and it gets. I mean, I think it's in the poster. It's in the cover art for the film.
Gets replaced with a machine gun, and she actually does like a whole dance.
But it's when she does the hop with the grenade launcher attachment.
Rocket jump, boom. Just Quentin Tarantino's penis melting. There's there's this whole segment about barbecue sauce.
You give me that recipe or I'll raise your rent higher than a Georgia pine.
Brother, ain't no Texan's ever gonna give you his barbecue recipe. That's a fact. He'll take you to his grave. I could be bleeding like a stuck pig. I ain't gonna tell you. I could be dying in your arms. I ain't gonna tell you.
And then you've got that one segment where it builds up for such a brilliant fight sequence, and then the screen melts.
Yeah.
And then it comes back.
It's a trope that they put in those Grindhouse films to go, hey, look, we're Grindhouse, but to be fair, it didn't actually happen that much, if at all, with old movies. But they made it look like an old Grindhouse film. And it was good to remind people of a bygone genre of filmmaking. Okay, I'm kind of cheating here with having 3 films in one spot, but bear with me. The trilogy of the Return of the Living Dead films are essential viewing if you're a zombie fan.
Yeah.
The kind of origins of zombie comedy as well, where it was parodying the George A. Romero films.
Yeah.
Where they, in the first Return of the Living Dead, they even pay tribute to that and say, there was an outbreak of the zombies, but we've contained them in these canisters, and we've stored some here. Let's go and open it.
Let's go and have a look and see what's inside.
Hey, these things don't leak, do they?
Leak? Hell no. These things were made by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
And lo and behold, you get like 5 or 6 movies.
Yeah.
The last, after the third film, I avoid. They are terrible.
Necropolis and something else.
The first 3 have got really good scenes.
The first one is just so memorable.
It is. It was like a punk rock kind of disco in the graveyard, with the zombies kind of being played for laughs. That scene where they on the radio, on the ambulance radio, and they're asking them to send more paramedics,
send more brains. But it brings a whole new dynamic.
That also introduced brains as well. You know, it's kind of annoying when everyone goes, "Oh, you know, zombies' brains," and it's like, no.
Just
zombies don't actually
say
brains. It's just those ones.
Just those ones. They're indestructible. They
kind of break the rule as well, because, you know, traditional zombies, you shoot them in the head, they die.
Yeah,
so Return of the Dead zombies.
Tremendous dash. Send more paramedics.
The second Return of the Dead is definitely my favourite. Just the fun scenes in that. The double-barreled shotgun. First film I'd ever seen where a zombie took a double-barreled shotgun to the chest and his legs still walk around.
I think the third one is probably my favourite of the three.
It's the girl, right?
Yeah.
Even when she's piercing herself, I look at her and I'm like, oh, damn.
Julie, what are you doing?
Nothing. Nothing. I'm sorry, Kurt.
One of the best British zombie movies, if not the only one that just brought zombie movies into the current generation.
Yeah.
They made it fresh. They made zombie movies enjoyable, you know, to the average cinema goer as well.
Yeah.
It had Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and Edgar Wright, team behind Spaced.
Yeah.
Who then later on went on to make that cop film,
Hot Fuzz.
and
they're doing The World's End at the moment as well.
Yeah, which is the last of the Cornetto trilogy,
The
as they
Cornetto
called
trilogy.
it. And if you're a fan of Spaced as well, coming into, you know, they had that little homage moment to zombies when he was playing Resident Evil, and all of his flatmates were zombies.
Hiya.
Don't sneak up on me like that.
And so then, you know, that born into Shaun of the Dead.
The whole film of Shaun of the Dead is just a massive nod to zombie films. From the opening sequence with the noise to just them sat in front of the TV and they're just watching the news, and the news is just playing out BBC, all the different programmes linking up.
As an increasing number of reports of
Serious attacks on
people who are literally being
eaten alive.
A witness reports are sketchy. One unifying detail seems to be that the attackers in many instances appear to be
Dead excited to have with us.
And you're just like, brilliant, zombies!
I introduced, you know, the walking like a zombie, and when they walk through the crowd. When they were defending the bar, there's some horrific gory moments.
Yeah.
The film also, what a good zombie film for me does, actually kills off characters that you care about.
You do it.
I'm sorry, Mom.
It hits all the right zombie notes, comedy notes, and tells a great story as well.
Yeah.
Really memorable characters. So yeah, I really like Shaun of the Dead. Still, after all these years.
Out of your face with sunshine, put on a great big smile.
Fido is another zombie film that not many people actually know about.
Yeah.
It stars Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly, yeah.
And he is a zombie.
The lead zombie.
It kind of reminds me of like a Bioshock, Fallout kind of setting. It's you know, set in the 50s and 60s after there's been an apocalypse. and now they've managed to contain the zombies and domesticated them, and now you have zombie, house cleaners or house pets.
Mowing their lawns and taking dogs for a walk.
Gloom never was in style. The future's brighter when hearts are lighter. Smile, smile, smile.
It's such a fantastic setting, and it is another comedy as well.
Yeah.
And you to get perverted again, you even have the next door neighbour that gets the freshest kill zombie to have as a sex slave zombie next door.
Oh, I forgot the sex slave zombie.
She looks good for a zombie.
Same as the day I met her. She was shopping in the grocery store for candy corn with her mom. Had some kind of a brain aneurysm. They slapped a collar on her before she even hit the floor. Got her before there was any decomposition.
But again, the film kind of descends into anarchy and chaos again as the zombies want to break free from this sluggish, slavish life that they now, or unlife that they now have. And it was kind of play on domestic kind of behaviour, being a chore.
A slave.
A
Billy
house
Connolly in
slave.
this film is... Somehow he manages to bring life to a zombie.
Exactly. I mean, if there's anyone who can, it would have to be Billy Connolly. When it was announced that they were going to remake Dawn of the Dead, they had already remade Night of the Living Dead, and they'd made a colour version, and they'd changed some of the ideas and scenes around. Barbara was the heroine of the movie. She kicked ass instead of coward. So it didn't ruin the original Night of the Living Dead. It kind of added to it, and it wasn't insulting either. It was actually a good film to watch. So when they announced the Dawn of the Dead remake, I was like, no, you bastards, don't do it. Don't you fucking touch Dawn of the Dead, please don't. And watching it in the cinema, it's like, okay, and wow, that opening sequence.
Oh. Vivian's here. Vivian, honey, sweetie, are you okay?
Being at the centre of the apocalypse as it's happening, the car wrecks and the people being unawares, and they got to the mall, and it's like brilliant. They're at the mall, the location's set, but there were, for me, too many cannon fodder characters, and the characters that were there I didn't care about as much as I did for the original film. And so much so to the point that the remake was an action zombie movie instead of a character-driven one.
Give me your shotgun!
The chase sequence with the when they're escaping to the pier
with the trucks,
all those action sequences, fantastic. There's plenty of dumb moments, the chainsaw, and the dog. The zombies didn't go for the dog.
Look at me, they want us, okay? Chips is gonna be fine. See? Look, he's walking right by them, and they're not even paying attention to him.
The only other drawback to it is that the zombies fucking sprint. Zombies don't fucking sprint.
Coming off the back of 28 Days Later, which obviously had come out before the remake.
It was a part of that resurgence of zombie movies, how can we make them scary? How about they run?
Which is a scary
the person who came up with that idea, I really do.
But at least they die. They die and they come back to unlife, and
I can forgive it. I can forgive it for the sake of the films.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I'll go with it, but still, you're breaking the laws.
You're breaking the law.
You're breaking the laws.
Damn.
Hurry up!
Dawn of the Dead remake earned having the title of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson, back in the day, before Lord of the Rings, before King Kong, before Frighteners, he made Bad Taste and Braindead. I was quite young when I first watched it, and the accents really put me off, but it was Zingaya. He got the bite!
There's some Dettol in the Jeep. Oh, jeez, no! No! What are you doing?
There was a bit of gore, and I was like, okay, well, maybe there's something there. So kept watching it, and then it was, gross out, ears falling into the custard.
The dog tail out the mouth.
Oh, Fernando! Your mother ate my dog!
Not all of it.
The Nazi doctor.
I just want to buy some sedatives.
What do you think I am? A goddamn doctor? I don't sell sedatives. Tranquilizers, I do have.
The preacher who kicks ass for the Lord.
Stay back, boy. This calls for divine intervention. I kick ass for the Lord.
When he's being strangled by some intestines. The zombie baby, zombie sex, the lawnmower sequence.
Oh, the lawnmower.
Once you've seen that lawnmower sequence, there's no going back.
Party's over.
Over the top, Gordon. You wonder how he went from Braindead to Lord of the Rings. And if he could remake Braindead, I'd love to see it.
No, I don't think it needs to be remade. I'd like him to make another film like it.
Yeah.
But that film was horrific. The gore, the violence, the humour.
Oh, the accents.
The accents. I mean, I actually love the accents now when I'm rewatching it. And it's a film that I rewatch regularly as well. It's a good film to show to someone if they've never even heard of it. And they're like, we love Lord of the Rings. I was like, oh, did you ever seen this? Yeah. Watch Braindead. This is, written in stone, and again, you might say I'm cheating here, but it's the entire George A. Romero, again, trilogy.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with
the first three, not the last 6.
Yeah, the original trilogy, Night of the Living Dead. It's not one that I actually watch as much as the other two.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead is the penultimate. It is the groundwork, the basis, the reinvention of zombies.
Yeah.
And when I first watched it, I was like, oh, I've seen this in Resident Evil. Wow, those are zombies. Oh my god, if you get bitten, you get turned into a zombie. Oh my god, the world has been overrun. It's like, this film is capturing the entire apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's following 4 characters that you're spending time with, and you're watching them at the center of this carnage.
Are you leaving people behind?
An ex-husband.
An ex-wife?
You, Peter? Some brothers.
Those real brothers? Real brothers or street brothers?
Both.
The woman, what's her name? Is it Francine?
Francine, yeah.
Just her standing from the start of the film, just being this woman, who's trying to be rescued by the 3 other guys.
You probably hear some shooting. Just don't panic, okay?
And her coming to realise that she's not just going to be a housewife for them. She's not just going to do their cooking and cleaning. She wants to use a gun. She wants to fly the helicopter, because she knows if anything happens, she wants to live.
That's it. You got it. Hon, you got it.
One of the greatest things about it is again what plays to what I like in a zombie movie is that one of the main characters, Roger, gets horrifically bitten. And it's the first time you've watched in a film a character go through the stages of actually slowly dying from it, and I always remember the scene where he's telling him, I'm going to try not to come back. And that was like, when I first watched it, I was just like, oh my god.
Don't do it till you're sure I am coming back. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to come back. I'm gonna try. Not to.
Now, Day of the Dead I saw much later. I wasn't even aware of who George Romero was at the time.
Yeah.
I was just aware of, wow, zombie movies are cool. And I got past Day of the Dead and I was like, oh wow, there's actually another one when it started.
Yeah,
Hello! Is there anybody out there?
That city, seeing that city.
Wow. I mean, they didn't have CGI.
No.
That was set the benchmark for apocalyptic zombie cities with the newspaper flying down the street, the dead walk. But when the film finished, I was like, that was average. It wasn't very good actually. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
That film sucks. I don't want to watch it again because after all that start up and it flopped. But after rewatching it, it's now absolutely a favourite film. I watch that film now more than Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Just because I love the fact that you've got normal civilians in there.
Yeah.
You've got scientists in there, and you've got the military in there, and they've been in there for years, trying to combat or figure out a way. And morale's dropped.
Yeah.
They're running out of food. They're running out of supplies. They're at each other's throats, and again, that kind of insanity thing kicks in.
Yeah.
And we get given one of the greatest cinema villains of all time, Rhodes.
I said we ain't finished here, lady. Sit down. Sit down, or so help me God, I'll have you shot.
You what?
I said, I'll have you shot.
He has one of the most memorable zombie deaths ever.
Yeah. His character is just the epitome of the guy you don't want to be stuck with.
And he is provoked by Frankenstein, who's feeding his dead soldiers to his favourite pet zombie, Bub.
Hi, Bub. What are you giving him in there, Frankenstein?
Who is, again, just a fantastic addition to the lore of what George Romero's created. In George Romero's extended script, the idea was that Bub would have been the start of an actual military zombie presence, that they would have sent the zombies out to clear up the other zombies. And, they had budget cuts and everything else, and that was why I was always so gutted with the film. But now when I rewatch it, I love everything about it. I love the characters, the way it plays out, and the finale, the gore, the puppetry, the masterful works. Absolutely. The trilogy, the George Romero trilogy, fantastic films. That's my favourite top 10 zombie movies. Maybe next time we do the top 10 zombie video games.
Yeah, top 10 infections,
Or monster movies?
Monster movies.
I think we'll do top 10 monster movies.
Peace.
Like intestines as well.
Well, no, they're not. They're not really intestines. They're plastic. There's like sausage-filled bags filled with blood and stuff, and he's just lying there like, oh, and you go.
It's not possible to survive. The dead are everywhere.
This just gets better and better, doesn't it?